Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna share with you guys one of my favorite base designs. Now there's not anything special in particular about this base, but the main reason why I really like this base is that even though we're gonna have a lot of buildings kinda exposed, the rest of the buildings, such as our resource generating buildings, our banks, our silos, and our star base, all of those buildings are gonna be really well protected by our turrets and our bunkers. And this is another reason that makes this base extremely effective in wars. Now, in wars, it is important not to give your enemies points. Enemy gets points by destroying your buildings. But in this case, we are sacrificing some of our less important buildings so that we can defend the rest of our base better. Now, we all know that starports, barracks, factory and such, they are less important because if you lose those buildings, you don't lose anything. Same goes for the observatory, refinery and the laboratory. But regarding to warp gates, yeah, we are gonna lose our units when our warp gates die, but there is a pretty easy fix to that issue. You can just fill the warp gates with less important units such as level 1 marines, looters, even bazookas or whatever unit you want. Any unit that doesn't cost too much could be used to fill the warp gates, so that when your warp gates die, yeah, your units are gonna die as well, but you can queue up more important units such as Stalinators, Strikes, Colossi, Menders, and pretty much any other unit that you actually wanna have and train. Whenever you log back into the game, you're gonna lose your marines, but hey, all of your units in the queue are gonna survive, and when you log in, those units in the queue are gonna be trained if your warp gates were destroyed. If not, then, just use your marines or whichever units you trained to attack the enemy to free up the space for the units that you actually wanted. Now that's the only and the main con of this base. Now the pros, this base has a lot of pros. One being the actual base being really difficult to destroy, since all of our defenses are damn near perfectly fortified. Our turrets are gonna be walled from all of the angles, same goes for the bunkers, and even if the enemy uses boulder strikes to destroy our bunkers, just deploying units in the middle of our base is not gonna be too effective since our turrets are protected from all of the angles. So even in those cases, if the enemy uses their powers to destroy some of our buildings, well, we still are gonna be quite alright. Now, the reason why we're not really using the friends bunker as a solid defense is that, especially in wars, your friends aren't gonna be able to refill your friends bunker every day or multiple times a day. A lot of people don't really have that many friends so that their Galaxy Life friends can refill their friends bunker. Besides, friends bunker just has 10k HP, whereas the level 2 red bunker has 25k. 25k is the amount of damage that a single boulder strike can deal, whereas Friends Bunker having 10k HP, that is 2 missile rains. Now missile rains are way easier to acquire in comparison to any other power such as boulder strike or even nuke, obviously nuke being the hardest to craft. Friends Bunker is not a reliable defense in this case and in many other cases, which is why I didn't fully utilize the power of the Friends Bunker. I would rather have it kinda there next to our top right side, because if we put the Friends Bunker a bit closer or inside our base, losing a Friends Bunker is quite easy, especially in a war, and that way we are really relying on our friends to refill our bunker. Not that anything's wrong with it, but it is just not convenient enough, and our base kinda loses the purpose of it being fortified from all of the angles. We don't wanna have a weak spot right inside our base. And by the way, if you guys want a trick to figure out what is a good way to place walls, where and when to place them, if your base, and it will eventually get destroyed, whenever your base gets destroyed, if all of your walls died, that means that you built the walls pretty well, because all of the walls died and the walls delayed the enemy pretty well, since that is the only thing that walls can do. They can delay the enemy attack. Now, if you guys wanna use this design, this layout of the base, there will be a difference if you do not have everything upgraded and if you don't have falcons in the bunkers. By the way, there is the units that we are using in the bunker. We're gonna fill both of our bunkers with falcons only. But if you wanna craft a colossus or two, that is fine. You can have 1 or 2 colossus in your bunkers. That is actually a bit better than having falcons, but you can only craft so many colossi. And when it comes to placing traps, try to place all of your traps inside the base. But if you place them outside, it is kinda hit and miss because you don't know which angle the enemy is gonna come from. Yeah, you might guess sometimes, but most of the times, especially when we get past the early game, right now being the early game, cause the game kinda just got released a few weeks ago, when we transition into the mid game and then late game after a few months and maybe even years, most people, if not literally every other person, is gonna use strikes to attack the enemies and maybe sometimes add Stalinators if they are Starbase 6 or higher, and especially if they're Starbase 7, then they might even use Colossi, which are a bit better. So yeah, this is basically what I wanted to show you guys. I know some of you asked for me to show you some of the base designs that I had, and I will also share more designs in the future, but for now, this is all I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think about this base. Do you like it? Would you use it for yourself? Would you change anything? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.